Hey baby, hey baby, hey. Girls say, boys say. Hey baby, hey baby, hey. Hey baby, baby.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a makeup tutorial on this look here, which just features nice kind of natural dewy skin, a soft pale peachy nude lip, and this golden eye look. This has become one of my favorite looks for a night out or for just going out to the movies or anything like that. I also like wearing it during the day, but it's especially my favorite for nighttime events. So if you want to know how to get this look, then please keep watching. Okay, so today I'm going to start off by priming my face, and for that I shall be using the Too Faced Hangover RX. I really like this one, especially in winter, because it is just a little bit more hydrating and my skin is quite dry, so adding that little bit of extra moisture in really helps keep my skin calm. As you can see, it's not at its best at the moment because I've been stressing. Okay, and then for the really pigmented pimples, I like to go over them with the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This is in NC20, so it is a little bit darker, as you can probably tell, than my normal skin, but this was the only one they had in stock when I went to order it. So yeah, I just take a little bit of this and dab it over the really pigmented pimples, and it kind of just prepares my skin for if I'm going for a lighter foundation, because if like the rest of my skin is fine. It's just I have a couple of really red pimples, so I don't want to have to go in with a really full coverage foundation and weigh my face down with it. So I just go in with this concealer, which stays really well underneath my foundation, and I just put that on the really red areas. Okay, now I'm going to take the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is in shade 2. I thought I didn't like this, but I used it the other day and I found it to be like really nice and hydrating, and I just didn't set it with powder. Usually I set everything with powder, and I've just kind of stopped doing that lately and seeing how it works for my skin, because as I said before, my skin is quite dry, and this is actually absolutely beautiful as long as you don't set it with powder. So it's definitely not going to be something for oily skins, and I'm not sure if I'll even be able to use it in the summertime because I get a little bit more oily then. But for now, this is an absolute godsend, and the finish is beautiful. So I'm just going to pop that on my face. I'm just going to do half my face at a time so you can kind of see the difference as it goes on. And for that one, I'm going to take the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, which looks like this. I've fallen back in love with this again. I used to love it, then I went through a phase of hating it, and now it just works amazingly with this foundation and the Dior Nude Air that I used in my last video. This is perfect for it. So I'm just going to start by stippling that in. This will create the most coverage. So that's what I'm going for at the moment. And I make sure I go right back into the hairline so I don't have a distinct border between my foundation and my actual skin. So that's my side of the face with the Armani Luminous Silk, and that is without. So it evens out everything quite nicely. A lot of people say it's not full coverage, but I think that you could definitely build it up to be full coverage. As you can see, it covered up. I have a lot of scars, like you can see here, and pigmentation from when I used to have pretty bad acne, and that covers it up quite nicely. So yeah, I thought I didn't like it, but I apparently do. So there's that. Okay, so that's that done, and now I'm just going to take the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Concealer, and I'm just going to correct the dark circles under my eyes. I make sure to get right in the corners, as I think I've mentioned this before. I get right in the corners because that's where you get the most darkness, and that's kind of your telltale sign as to whether you've been getting enough sleep or not. And then the only thing I do sit on my face is my under eyes, because they will crease, and the mascara that I use tends to kind of rub along the bottom of my lash line, and it can create kind of like a black smudge. So I do tend to set my under eyes, and for that I take my beauty blender again and the Essence All About Matte powder, which is just a white translucent powder. And I just collect some of it on the Beauty Blender and then just roll it and press it in. Make sure to get right up under the lash line as well, because that is where I tend to get that smudging that I talked about before. Okay, now I'm going to do the rest of my face. So for bronzer today, I'm going to take the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, which is a cream bronzer that looks like this. This is another product that I thought I didn't like for a while, and then I've kind of tried it with a different method, and I really, really enjoy it, especially just to subtly kind of contour the face. It is a bronzer, not a contour thingamabob, but I use it to kind of give a little bit of extra definition. So I take that on my Marc Jacobs The Conceal brush, number 14, and I just put a fair bit of that on there, and then I take it under my cheekbone and just drag it in. And I curve it up to create that kind of apple cheek, like the really big apple. And then I'll just do the same on the other side. And I take some around the forehead to even it out. And now we're done. Now you take the same foundation brush that I used before, and I'm just going to blend this out. I'm not going to rub it in circles because A, that will take off some of the foundation, which is not what I want, and B, this will kind of make sure that you still have that strong line. You don't want to bring your contour down too far because that defeats the purpose. You want to be pushing it up. So then it looks like you've kind of got that cheekbone going in, and then all of a sudden it comes back out. So I'm going to stipple that in along the top. And this does take a little bit of work, so if you're going to do this method, you'll have to be relatively patient. So that is what it looks like finished. So as you can see, when I turn this way, this cheekbone is very, very lifted compared to this one. I'm hoping you can see it. I can see it in the viewfinder and it looks like it's very lifted. But yeah, it's just a really natural way of contouring, and it's not going to make you look like a drag queen. If you want to look like a drag queen, that is fine. I love me some drag queens. But this is very natural. And because my skin is dry, again, using cream products really helps keep that moisture in and keep my skin feeling comfortable and not drying out and feeling really tense. So then I'll do the same to my forehead, just because I have a bit of a 5 head going on, so I like to contour that a little bit. And then I'll do this cheek. And now I'm going to go in with blush. So today I'm going to be using the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. Very, very popular. A nice coral, just to kind of warm up the face without too much effort. So I just tap my Sigma angled contour brush in there, and I make sure I really tap off the product because the foundation isn't set. It's going to hold a little bit more than it would if it was set. So I'm very cautious with blush when my foundation isn't set. I'm just going to start, usually I start like at the end of my eyebrow and just pat all the way back, blending it into that contour, and I'll take just a little bit further in. Okay, now for highlighter, I'm going to use one from Essence. This is called the Blue Me Up Shimmer Powder, and it looks like this. The pattern is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take that on a Real Techniques setting brush. Just pop a little bit on there, tap off the excess again. And I start right here at the highest point of my cheekbone and place the majority of product there, and then kind of swoop it up and also down. So there's that one. So that's the face done. I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera because they are always the same, and then I'll be back to show you the eye look. Okay, so back to being up close and personal. I have done my brows, and now I'm going to move straight onto the eyes. So we've already primed by putting that matte powder over the top of our eyelid after concealer. So now I'm going to go straight in with Bobbi Brown Wheat. which is just a neutral crease shade. This I find if I put it on top of, if I use this as the first shade, it just makes everything else a little bit easier to blend out. So I'm taking that on a Sigma E30 maybe. You can see how much I've used it because it's actually rubbed off. And I'm just going to put that in the crease all the way from inner corner to outer corner, just blending it out. So now I'm going to go in with a BH Cosmetics brush that looks like this. It's very similar to my white goat hair. Actually, I'm going to use the white goat hair. I don't know why, I just really prefer this one. I'm going to take MAC Uninterrupted. This is a Pro Longwear eyeshadow, which is like kind of a poo brown shade, if I'm being 100% honest. I'm just going to lightly take that on my brush and start putting that into the crease. So just gradually building up the color so it's easier for us to blend out. And again, I'm taking that right into the inner corner and right out to the outer corner as well. And I'm just going to keep building that up, especially in the outer corner. I want to make it quite deep. So I'm going to focus it on the outer V. There we go. I'm taking that original brush with no extra product on it and just making sure that the edges are all buffed out. And now I'm going to move on to the sparkliness. So for that I'm using the Air Dew Wet and Dry Sparkler for eyes, and this is in shade 418. This is one of the ones that I picked up when I was in Greece. There are a lot of dupes for this. I'll try and find this exact shade and put it in the description box, but if I can't, they have a similar shade from Makeup Geek. MAC Amber Lights is quite similar. I'm sure you'd be able to find quite a lot of dupes for this. It's just a shiny gold color. So for that one, I'm going to take my MAC 242 brush and I just pick up as much of the pigment on that as I can. And then I just spritz it with a setting spray. So today I'm using the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray just because that's what I have on hand, and just wetting that so that it turns into a liquid. And then I just start packing that on my eyeball. So try not to take it too far up into the crease. Just kind of carving it out. Okay, so that is that done. Just going to make sure the edges are nice and blended out. So taking that same brush and trying as much as I can not to disturb that gold that we've got on the lids. I'm just going around the outside and making sure that there's no harsh or jagged lines. Okay, and now I'm going to do my lower lash line. So for that I'm going to take the, what is this, shading brush from Real Techniques. And I'm going to take that same uninterrupted shade from MAC and just lightly pop that mostly in kind of the outer third or outer half of my lower lash line. So just starting here. And making sure to connect it up to the outside as well. So that's that done. So now I'm just going to pop on some mascara. For that I'm using the Lancome Hypnose mascara. You can put on fake lashes if you want. A couple of times I've worn this look I have used fake lashes, but today I'm not going anywhere special and I can't really be bothered. So and at this stage, if you have any fallout from the sparkly shadow, I'm just taking a clean brush and just kind of flicking any excess away. So now I'm going to do my lips. So for that one, I'm going to take the MAC Subculture Lip Liner. This is just a nice nude shade. I'm just going to outline my lips. And then for the lip colour, I'm going to use the Rimmel Apocalypse Lip Lacquer. This one is in Phenomenon, so it's a nice peachy nude kind of shade. And I was going to pop that over top. Now we're going to set the masterpiece with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. This again just adds a little bit of extra hydration. And I swear to God, this makes my makeup last all day. I didn't notice until I started using this how much my blush and my bronzer would fade towards the end of the day, and my foundation as well. This makes it stick, I swear. So I'm just going to drench my face with that. It just adds a little bit of extra hydration and luminosity as well. So there we go, that is the finished look. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any requests or questions, leave them in the comment box down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.